G'day folks, and welcome back to Metal Mania 3D in the Diecast Workshop. Today we have a very special build today, which is very close to my heart. My dad was in World War II. He was a gunner, and not one of those gunners today. Unfortunately, World War II, any war, besides the casualties on the war field, there's also casualties that follow all the way after. So if you hear me go quiet in amongst this bill or whatever else there, it's probably because I'm a bit emotional about it. So what I'm going to do today is, this is the Veterans Memorial build, and I'm going to build these two cars here as a sign of respect, and also for my dad, unfortunately, who's no longer with us anymore. God bless him. So we're going to do these two little Jeeps. This is a little Siku Jeep here, so to speak. It's knocked about and all that sort of stuff. It's metal top and bottom. So we're going to convert this into an Army Jeep. It's a bit bigger, and with this Jeep we'll be putting this on the hood or the bonnet. That's where that'll be going. Onto the red one, which will be done up as an Army Jeep like I was saying to you. And this one here is another little, it's an Army Jeep, but it's got Anaconda at the moment on it, but we're not doing the Anaconda thing. It's also got a snapped off windscreen, but that's right. It's a real full-on military Jeep. As you have a look on the side here, you can see all of the shovels and the axes and all that sort of stuff going on. Right, so this will all still get stripped and everything else. And we're going to drill it out, tap and thread the posts. We haven't got that bit to it yet, but we'll get to it though. And then also we've got this Dinky that I'm going to restore, and tube's got to go into the back for the canvas canopy to go on the back that's missing, but we'll make all of that. And so this is going to be our Veterans Memorial build off, due on the 11th of the 11th 2020. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into these here. I've already got the paint sorted out for these guys. I had a bloke in at Rare Spares in Devonport who mixed this colour up for me, which is the correct colour. He colour matched it and everything for us. So we're going to have the nice beautiful green, and we'll also 2K clear it off in a satin finish so it's not shiny. Alright, so stick with us, and we'll be back shortly with some more. So with this truck on the bottom of this Dinky here, they've got little mounds on the post, or the rivets, however you want to call it there. And this is we use this unit here as a self loaded centre punch, and it puts a centre punch in the middle. After I file down the tops off them, so that way when we drill the posts out, they're going to be able to be in the centre. Alrighty. And we've drilled this one here off, so I can take the tow hook off. The tow hook needs fixing anyway because it's all bent around. That's right there. And then it gives us enough room to drill and put a bolt in there. We won't come through the other side because it's got a big enough head on that end there with the little bolts. Same with these here. We'll drill these out now. Alright, we've drilled all of this off, and it'll come off nice and easy now. There's all the dirt and the muck up in there. It is fairly well chipped and used, of course, but also we'll do all of this up. That'll just be painted in a satin flat black. Satin black. Flat and satin, two difference. Get it right, Ken. Now, and then I've just grind that little tiny lip off, and we can pull the wheels off and the tyres and that off there. And same as with the rear wheels. We'll get in there with a little file on our Dremel, and just nick that little tiny bit off around the edge there, and that a little bit off there. Then that way we can take the wheels out, and then she's ready for the strippers. The same as these other ones here that have got pulled apart, they're ready for the strippers as well. Alright, bear with it. Okay, as you can see, these here, the easiest way to get these, you can grind that little tiny lip off there so you don't damage the wheel. So I use a little tungsten carbide tip. It's just this little tiny one. And then we'll grind that off, and then they all come apart. That way we don't damage. Okay, they're all pulled down now. Alright, so off to the adult part. I don't have to do anything to the base on this one, which is good. And it's a metal base, which is even better. I will do something with the wheels though. They don't suit an Army Jeep, but we'll fix that up. I was able to get all of those bits out of there. Got this out, just a little Dremel with a little tiny, that tungsten carbide tip that I showed you before that we used. Now we used that just to clean up the edges of the axles, so that way you don't damage them. And then we get going. Alright, so that's our little badge that I was showing you there before. It's got the bloke in the centre there playing the last post. Dawn of respect. The word respect seems to be disappearing in society today. And there she's all pulled down. And with that there, because of these, what they do is they put these in a press. They put these in a machine, and then they burr the ends over. So that little bit I was showing you there before, where I'll just fold all the ends off, so that way all of these wheels just come straight off now. And then I can clean all of them up and paint them all the same as well. But we'll get them in, scrub the tyres up and do all of that sort of stuff. So we're going to do the adult part now. We're going to the strippers. Okay, we're at the strippers. We've got those two in. I think I showed you this before. This one here, this just rips it off. You don't have to scratch the paint, don't have to do nothing. This is brilliant, that stuff. It just rips into it. And then we'll get that one there done. Alright, there we go. We've got the two Jeeps back to bare metal. And we've got the big one in the dish here that we're just about to clean up now. Alright, we've got the big fella out now. Geez, that took some stripping. I tell you, I take it all off everywhere. Right underneath, every single tiny bit of paint comes off. Because if you leave any paint that's got stripper on it, and then you go painting it, it'll create grief later on. So they're all clean whistles. I'll do them all up with steel wool, and then we'll get them into primer. I've got to do a bit of, since I've cleaned this off here, that back corner there, you can probably see the damage there on it. I'll have to fix that up. It's obviously been, when I was playing with it, and the same on the front bumper, there's got quite a lot of burrs on it as well. Alright. Right, we're back from the strippers. They're still in the nude. Haven't put anything on them yet. We've got it all off from the bottom and the top and everything else there. And I cleaned all of the little burrs off around the frame and the windscreen and on the wheel arches and all that sort of stuff. So we'll buff them up with fine grade steel wool. Polish them up. I had to do a lot of work on the dinky truck, but looking at that there, you couldn't see that before. It's actually got the studs and all that in there. That's how much rubbish and crap was in there. But we've done that there. We also had to do a fair lot of filing work on it, because when we actually cleaned it all off, it had so much damage on it, so many burrs everywhere. So you can see I've cleaned all the leading edges up with the file. There's still some marks there, but by the time we get the primer on there, it'll fill some of the low spots, and then the paint and everything else will be right there. I fixed that up around that taillight corner there as best as we could, and we filed all of the edges up on the front here to get them all nice and clean and sharp. Alright, so stick with us and we'll get it in cleaned up, buffed up, and we'll get them into primer, get them ready for paint. Now, and this little one here, we cleaned that one up there too. It had a few little tiny burrs, but not a great lot. It wasn't too bad, so that's good. I was actually lucky enough to look through my junk pile. So I keep all the windscreens when I pull all my cars apart. And I found another windscreen that actually belongs to it. So looking forward to whacking that up on there and doing that there. Alright, so we'll be back shortly and we'll have them in primer and bits and pieces. Okay, we've come back and getting rid of all of the casting marks. Cleaned all of this one up, all of the casting marks. We're getting ready to do it in silver now. With silver. We're getting ready to do it with steel wool, and it'll look silver. Yeah, but there was heaps of marks. These ones here, I've got rid of all of those marks there. They'll all polish off now that I've filed them all off in the body shop. Yep, all the overcasting lines. So we've got rid of all of those and cleaned them up everywhere. And that one as well. And we also did it on this little beastie here. Fixed up a couple of bad edges along the front face there. Because you do actually see that because the bumper bar sits about that much below it. Sort of thing. But well, we're going to drill them now, tap them and steel wool them with the double O. And we'll be back. Now I'm just putting the primer on these. Automotive Jeepy colour primer. Just a light coat onto the wheels. There we go. They're all done there. Same as onto the Jeeps. I'll do the underneath and primer first. Make sure I get it everywhere. Just nice and neat. We'll do underneath. Flip around. Get most of the sides of some of them, so it's not too dry. Right, and then we'll do the bottom of this one. This is the tricky one because it's got paint at all angles everywhere. We have to get a blowfly in the action scene. You can hear him mumble. Yep. There we go. She's all in primer. Righto, we'll wait for that to dry and then we'll flip them over and do the other side. I'm putting the primer on the other side of the rims now. Just a light coat. 3 different angles. Or 4 different angles I should say. Just the primer on them there, on the other side. And we'll do the primer on here on the top of these ones here. Make sure we get it everywhere like that. Nice. Same here. There we go. That's it all primed up. Now the most trickiest job in the shed today is this one here. And you couldn't see all of those little bolt pins before until I stripped all the dag old paint off. And this thing here, these here got more angles than you can take a stick at. So you'd be very careful how you lay the paint on that you don't start flooding it in too many other areas. Inside the tail of the truck. Get around to the back here. That didn't turn out too bad that there. Alright. So there we go. We're all done. Okay, so there we go. They're all on the green now. So we'll get coming back to you with more. Okay. Now here is the bits and pieces off those Army Jeeps. The interiors, the fronts and the backs, sort of thing there, because most of the Jeeps are like 95% all green. And we've done the spare wheels and that sort of thing on the back of here. Other end, be good. So we've done the spare wheel there, and we've done the other wheels as well. We've done the front and the back, all the front and the back base plate front ends and back ends, so when it's all together you don't see that black or chrome or whatever. So yeah, and there's an interior and on the roll bar. So we're slowly getting there. And this is the other. Now these are the Jeeps. These are all green, all inside and out now. Turned out really good. Look cool. No casting lines on them, and they're the wheels off the Berliet Gazelle truck that we got it looking nice and good now. I actually dropped that. If you notice back in the video when I showed them all to you when it was on the fire, I actually dropped it and had to repaint it all again because it chipped it all off the back, and every corner on the front and the roof there it chipped it, so I had to paint it again. Alright, stick with us, we're just about there. Okay, so here we go. We got all of the bits. That's all of the rims painted for the Gazelle truck, Berliet, yep. There's the bases there, all of those other big masked up. This masked all of the wheels up, sprayed all of the centres and had all that for them there. So we've done all of that there. Also masked the screen up. Little bits of masking tape you can see on the inside there. Come straight across. And then I'll put 2 squares on the front there in the middle, so when you pull up, so we'll actually have a green frame around the glass like it should be, not just, it's in the glass, the shape. Oh, another thing I need to show you, and this is also part of the dash. You didn't really notice that there at all until we painted it. There we go. It's all the instrumentation and all that there for the dash on these things, and the hinges on the windscreen and all that there. When this was all clear, you could hardly notice any of that. But anyway, there we go. It's all there. There's the base there, and we've got the wheels and the axles. Okay, so here's the tyres. I've given them a good scrub up, got all of the dirt and everything off them. And you can actually see how they come up like brand new, they did. They're looking good, yep. And then we also polished the axles. Polished those all up so they now look like new there. So when we put it together, I put this punch in the vise. These 2 punches here, which are 4mm. 4mm there somewhere, yeah, 4mm nail punches. And it's got the ends in them like that. And what happens with that is, see if we can get that to stand up. Okay, it won't stand up. What you do here is this goes on the end of that there, so it'll give you that dome end. It'll give you that dome end, that'll go into there. And then it'll give you the dome end. And then when you put the wheel on the other side, you put that through there. And you can do that there, and you put a small dome end on there so it stops the wheels coming off. That way it looks like factory then. But you can tell these tyres here from which side to put out. Because if you notice on this side here, you can see how the clarity is on all of the riding and everything, and on the wheels, and all that sort of stuff. And then on the other side, it's a little bit rough in a few places. If you see what I mean there. Alright, so we'll flick them all over there and we'll get all of this together, and we'll come back and we'll be putting all the bits together. Okay, so here we are. We've got all the detailing done on the back of the Jeep there. And then we've got black details and accents that you can see. Plus I did the front here. Did the windscreen on that Jeep that I just showed you. Did all the wipers on the front. That little tiny screen. Excuse me. With the front and the rear of that one there. This is the other Jeep. All the front of that's done, the winch and everything else there's all been done up. Same as the interior, and we did the black knobs and the detailing on the floor and the interior, the handbrake boot. Then of course we've got the big truck that's all been done now, in and out and everywhere. Did a couple little times front. Kept checking on the internet there, and some of them have got silver bars, some of them don't, some of them have got all over, so it's pretty hard to find the exact records now. So that's the back end of it now. And we did the base plate for that as well. So these will all go together now in a moment. Alright, here we go. We've got them all together. We've got them all together now. And they're looking pretty trick. If you can remember, the Siku used to be red with all the chip marks all over it everywhere else there, and it just used to be a normal Siku vehicle. And you wouldn't believe it, the old story goes, I did that red one and I kept trying to find this one that had the bent down thing and the bent bumper on the front and all of that sort of stuff. As per usual, I'll find it now when I finish the other one. But anyway, it's an important build for me today, this one. This is Remembrance Day, the 11th of the 11th. My dad was in World War II. He was a gunner. He used to work on the guns, and he was as deaf as a post because there was no health, work and safety back in those days. So, yeah, I've had all uttermost respect. And I put this emblem on the hood, bonnet, as you want to call it. I did all the front, winch, indicators, headlights, number plate. Remember, this was all green, all red. And I did all the rear of the tail lights, number plate and everything else there. I did a few little details inside, like I was showing you before in the part before we put it all together. And that's what she looks like. Come up pretty trick, eh? That's the Siku. I'll put him down. Make sure he doesn't roll off the bench. And then this is the little matchbox that we did. We did all the front black, then the orange indicators, black, then the white headlights. We did the little wipers on the wiper panel, on the windscreen I should say. That windscreen, if you can remember at the beginning, was all clear glass. So you see the difference it makes when you paint it up, how it actually looks like it belongs to the vehicle. Did the shovel and the handle and that sort of stuff. Did the brackets that hold the windscreen up. And a couple other bits and pieces. Did the gear shifters and that sort of stuff there in green inside. Just kept it back and did the centre of the spare wheel on the back. As well as I did the tail lights and the carry rack for the fuel tank that's on the back. I did that. So yeah, they all come up really neat. I think they look pretty cool. And this is the Dinky restoration that we done. I couldn't find any decent pictures on the net, and I'll even look through my Dinky book, and the Dinky book doesn't even show you the front. Some of them are painted silver, some of them aren't. So I wanted to keep it to 99.9% original. So I just did the little hooks and that there on the front, and I did all of this on the back. And of course underneath, everything's all done. Polished all the axles, fitted that all up with L keys. So you remember they were all rusty, so she's like a brand newie now. I've seen one of these on the internet and eBay in the UK, £350, but it did have the rocket and the rocket launcher on the back, and it did have the box, made up box. But anyway, let me know what you think, guys, and don't forget it's Remembrance Day today at 11 o'clock. All we ask for is just for you to be 1 minute standing as a mark of respect to the people who did what they did for us to enjoy our freedom and fun and enjoyment today. Alrighty, so take care everyone. We will catch you again on the next one. We've got some more coming, and we appreciate all of the support. If you send us a message and we don't answer, we like to answer everybody. Please remind us, because sometimes they get missed because of YouTube. Alright guys, take care, stay safe, and we'll catch you again on the next one. Bye for now.